Fancy moves here. White does the heavy lifting. There goes Branson Opoli. He scores. Touchdown. What a run by Tristan Jackson. Oh, my.
It's the Ottawa REDBLACKS colliding with the Edmonton Eskimos.
It doesn't get any better.
It's Saturday night in Ottawa, outside TD Place. Just a great place to watch a football game. We saw that firsthand last Sunday night as fans tailgate and get ready for a rematch of the Eskimos and the REDBLACKS. Jason Moss was the offensive coordinator for Ottawa last year, now, of course, the head coach of Edmonton. His quarterback last year, 41-year-old Henry Burris, back from injury last week, struggled a bit in a loss to the Argos, looking to get back into the form that made him the MOP a year ago. Losing in the Grey Cup to this guy, Mike Riley, the MVP of that Grey Cup game. His Eskimos, after a strong start, faltering a bit with a couple of losses in the last couple of weeks as we get set for the close of Week 7 in the Canadian Football League with a good matchup. Second meeting between the two teams who were in the Grey Cup a year ago. Welcome to the CFL on TSN. Rod Smith, Milt Stegall, Matt Dunnigan, Chris Schultz. Let's get right to it. There is pressure. Both of these teams have lost 2 straight. Where's most of the pressure lie?
I think in the Edmonton Eskimos, they got to keep pace with the BC Lions and certainly the Calgary Stampeders, and their defense has not been playing well. They're going to be tested, Schulte, tonight against Henry Burris, who you know is looking to bounce back. And with all the talent at his disposal, I think the pressure squarely on the Eskimos and their defense.
Defensive backs for the Ottawa REDBLACKS, they're missing 2 key starters. Your defensive backs are your last line of defense. Edmonton is at their best attacking a defense's last line of defense.
Chris Williams, fantasy football dream those first 3 games. 25 catches, almost 500 yards, 6 touchdowns. Last 3 games, not so much. I think he has like 13 catches, 132 yards, 0 touchdowns.
Henry Burris playing bad. It ain't him.
It's on the quarterback?
Yes, it was the last couple of weeks.
All right.
Chris Williams.
Well,
Chris Williams. Well, I got it from my fantasy football team, so he needs to pick it up.
You always have to be thinking along that line. Yeah, both teams looking to turn it around. We're going to have the kickoff coming up at TD Place in Ottawa right after this.
Look who's back. It's the ageless wonder, Henry Burris. Watch Henry work here. Mike Riley, sensational. Simply put, he's one of the best in the game.
Tara Parsons of Stony Plain, Alberta. You could win the ultimate $25,000 home theater package from Visions Electronics if a kickoff's returned for a touchdown in this game tonight, thanks to Safeway Sobeys touchdown to win promotion. And should it happen a second time, well, Tara, you could also win $1 million. Good luck with that. Let's go to Rod Black and Dwayne Ford in the nation's capital.
Absolutely exquisite night. Welcome to Ottawa. 2 teams struggling right now. 2 losses in a row, but welcome everybody to the Royal Canadian Air Show.
Yeah, no question about it. With all due respect to Usain Bolt, Andre DeGrasse, and all the rest, this might be the best track meet you see all month right here in Ottawa. Darrell Walker leads the Canadian Football League with 642 receiving yards. He and Adarius Bowman will team up for the Edmonton Eskimos in this ball game. Chris Williams, number 2 in the league. 625 receiving yards. We know all about Ottawa with their fearsome foursome from a year ago.
And a reunion of sorts, of course. Rick Campbell, Coach of the Year. Last year, his team has dropped 2 straight thanks to last-minute kicks. But his buddy last year beside him, his offensive coordinator, of course, as they went on to the Grey Cup game, was this guy, Jason Moss, the head coach now with the Edmonton Eskimos. They have also lost 2 straight. This is only the Eskimos' 2nd road game of the season.
And for Jason Moss, probably not feeling a whole lot like a road game, as you said. This is a place where he enjoyed great success as the offensive coordinator of the Ottawa REDBLACKS a year ago, helping them win the East Division and face these very Edmonton Eskimos in the Grey Cup.
Well, it's a Grey Cup rematch, of course, and it's a Week 1 rematch. Eskimos and Red Blacks went to overtime in Edmonton, season opener, and Ottawa won that one. We're getting ready to kick it off here tonight. Sold out TD Place Stadium. It's go time. Grant Shaw bouncing in front and down quickly goes Jamil Smith on the return. Henry Burris coming off a subpar performance in his return last week.
Yeah, and Henry, of course, looking to bounce back another week into his recovery from that finger injury suffered in that season opener against the Edmonton Eskimos. Some frustration from fans with the offense. It wasn't quite what they've become accustomed to here in Ottawa last week. No doubt Henry and his crew will be ready to go here tonight.
The 41-year-old Burris, the veteran, last year's most outstanding player in the CFL, says he's had a good week of practice, more rhythm this time, has been able to chuck that football. He does right away. And the first catch is made by Greg Ellingson. Henry just didn't seem to get in any rhythm last week, and it looked like there was some rust coming off that pinky injury.
Yeah, whether rust or whether just a situation of getting comfortable with a different tape job on that finger. The grip was a little different. I mean, a week prior to that game, he had only been gripping the football, hadn't been throwing for that long. So we'll see how much of a difference 6 days has made for Burris.
Quickly a first down on his first pass. Now he's going deep. He's got Chris Williams in. Coming back on the play, that ball never got back to Williams, who's had an outstanding start, of course. And as Henry Burris tries to stretch it out, Williams for an instant looked like he was open.
Yeah, it's a fortunate break here. Marcel Young is scrambling to try and get back to help out on the play. He hadn't located the ball, but just by the location of the throw, happened to hit him in the back before Williams could get to it.
Two teams tonight, number 1 and 2 on second down conversions. Burris. Oh, what a catch on a dart. And converted on second down to Greg Ellingson. Talk about throwing in a very small window.
Yeah, Kenny Ladler, the rookie linebacker, playing that Sam or nickel spot, is right on Ellingson. Great concentration by the receiver. As Henry Burris threads the needle there.
Burris and the Red Blacks, number 1 in offense. Gained this season. Again, Trevor Harris played 3 games and then got hurt as Nick Grigsby gets his first touch, 3 or 4 yards.
And a couple of changes for Ottawa this week offensively as they juggle the ratio a bit. Khalil Payton will be in at wide receiver in place of Jake Hardy, switching Canadian for American there. So Jason Lauzon-Seguin, the rookie first-round pick out of Laval, starts in place of the American Jake Silas at the right tackle spot, his first career start.
Lauzon-Seguin had some concussion issues early in the season. Now Burris in the pocket and zips one over the middle. Another first down to the 30-yard line, and it's been Greg Ellingson, and Greg Ellingson so far. This time 17 yards.
Greg Ellingson's going to line up as the wide guy in this bunch formation before working underneath here, trying to create a little bit of confusion for the coverage as they come out of that cluster.
Burris again, a quick hitter, that's incomplete. A lot has changed, of course. There's a late flag now that comes up. This was after the play, and it might be objectionable conduct here.
Well, I wonder if they kind of looked to see if that contact continued beyond 5 yards, if initially they thought it started before 5 yards and continued past that mark.
Tim Croker tonight is our referee, and it looks like it is against the Eskimos. It is pass interference.
10-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
That's exactly it. The ball immediately placed into the red zone just inside the 20.
Cord Parks, a former BC Lion, is the man in coverage on Ellingson there.
Eskimo defense that has been beleaguered, to say the least, early in the season. Play action, far side. And stepping out of bounds is Ellingson. Again, a flag on the near side this time, right near the Ottawa bench, just as that play was getting off. Such changeover in this Edmonton D this year. And a team that was led to the Grey Cup really by their D and their offense.
Ottawa number 9. 5-yard penalty. First down.
So they'll bring it back. It'll be first down again. Mike Benavides in charge now of the defense in Edmonton.
Yeah, and you hit the nail on the head, Rod. So much turnover. Largely through free agency. You've got guys like Dexter McCoyle, Aaron Grimes, Willie Jefferson from that unit who have moved on to NFL camps this year. With the Foster, of course, in Saskatchewan with Chris Jones.
Slinging it in again. Back to the initial line of scrimmage. Brad Sinopoli makes his first catch of the night. 2 elite receiving corps, 2 outstanding receiving units in this game tonight.
One of the keys for Edmonton in this football game is going to be getting that D-line going. They were such a strength for this group last year, but who'd have thought that at this point, Odell Willis, for example, would only have 1 sack.
10th play of the drive now, second down. Burris brings it back now. He's in trouble out of the backfield. And lunging forward down to the 10-yard line is Grigsby. He had to get near the 9-yard line. We'll see what the spot is here. I think that the Red Blacks are going to go for it. It's on 3rd down. It's going to be 3rd and short. And it's going to be actually spotted a little bit further back than that. They're bringing out the beef here. And Brock Jensen. So they're going to go for it on 3rd down. Red Blacks have been perfect converting 3rd downs this season.
Ottawa.
Timeout called as they reconsider.
And they reconsidered and they went the other way.
Yeah, that's a long one.
So Chris Milo is going to come out. Brand new daddy, Chris Milo, the last couple of days. Coming off a kicker's classic in the last game. The loss to the Argos, both he and Lirim Hairolahu put on a show last week here at TD Place Stadium. So this one, after this clock-chewing drive, almost 5 minutes off the clock. Edmonton hasn't touched the ball yet. Milo from about the 17.5-yard line puts it up and puts it through. And the Red Blacks strike first here tonight in this Grey Cup and Week 1 rematch. So Mike Riley, it's your turn. 300-yard game after 300-yard game. Oh, and he's got some pretty good receivers himself. Saturday Night Football in the nation's capital continues. The CFL on TSN is brought to you by the Nissan Titan, official vehicle of the Canadian Football League. Right, sunny night here, Saturday night. Mike Riley gets into shotgun formation. Grey Cup MVP. His Eskimos off to a 2-3 start. Hands it off and up the middle for John White. And like Henry Burris, a treasure chest of toys to work with.
Yeah, absolutely, and that includes John White, who's in that backfield. Of course, he missed all of the 2015 season due to injury. Walker and Bowman, the big guns in that receiving corps. Along that offensive line, a little shuffle. Chris Graves in at left guard. Simeon Rotier again at center for an injured Justin Sorensen.
Second and throwing, and out of the backfield is John White up near the 52-yard line. Quick strike, and again, we talked about the proficiency. Both of these teams work second down so well, and so does Mike Riley, as always.
Well, you're going to see two teams that are very similar in terms of their offensive philosophies. They're going to attack quickly, spread the ball around to a number of different receivers, try and get that ball out on time, but work at a fast pace, play fast.
Hand it off again to John White, so they keep it on the ground. Well, they also share that common denominator in Jason Moss, whose tact hasn't really changed since he went to the Edmonton Eskimos.
All right, here's a look at the Ottawa defense. Mo Hopkins comes off the 6-game injured list to start at D tackle. Tomaso Munoz, the former Eskimo, at middle linebacker. Keep an eye on the boundary side of this secondary. Mitchell White shifts over. Forrest Hightower as well. Their top 2 boundary defenders, Abdul Kane and Jarrell Gavins, are both out of the lineup. That's the side where Bowman and Walker primarily play offensively for Edmonton. So we'll see how those matchups work out for the Red Blacks in the back end. Nick Taylor draws in. He's going to play the wide side corner. That's been Mitchell White's spot the last couple of games. Gavins, Kane, Tristan Jackson, all members of that Ottawa secondary who went down last week during the loss to Toronto.
Shadows enveloping the field now. First and 10, Riley from the Ottawa 47-yard line. This time he's going and he's throwing to Darrell Walker, last year's Rookie of the Year, and is off to an absolutely spectacular start. Record-breaking start this season.
And just a quick hitter here. He's going to get inside position. Again, balls out quickly. The outstanding chemistry between Mike Riley and his receivers, particularly on that side of the field. There you see the numbers, the top receivers in the league. By the way, coming into this week, 5 of the top 7 in the league
are here.
Into week 7 are on the field today.
Well, that's what we talked about at the beginning. The ball's going to be in the air a lot tonight, and expect it to be caught. 2 great quarterbacks, 2 exceptional receiving units, and it's fumbled. It's up in the air. And Zach Evans has it. You might call that a fumble. It's almost a pick.
Well, Zach Evans did have that interception return for a touchdown against Edmonton a year ago, but he'll take the turnovers however they come. Good effort by the Ottawa Redblacks D to start this game.
Outstanding start to the season for Zach Evans, the Regina native. Let's take a look here. Riley in trouble. The ball just squirts out, and Zach Evans is right there.
Mikey. Zach Evans, D-tackle, tight
Zach
end.
Evans last year took one back against the Edmonton Eskimos, rumbled almost the entire field. This guy can motor. I don't think this is an interception per se, but it might as well be.
Yeah, and the assist here goes to his line mate, Mike Moore. He comes on the loop inside and does a nice job redirecting as Mike Riley tries to break contain. That right arm is still the inside arm for Riley, so Moore gets a piece of that. No throwing motion there from Riley, so this should go down as a fumble, but Zach Evans comes up with the recovery. Mike Moore, second generation Ottawa footballer, comes up with the forced fumble.
His dad, Sean, was a quarterback back in 1995 here in Ottawa with the Renegades. Back in 95, he was a Rough Rider at the time. So now, Henry Burris swarmed and brought down. And there's that patented roll from the Edmonton Eskimos front four. And Amondo Sewell has his 4th sack of the season.
Yeah, that roll that some would suggest they haven't seen enough of. Amondo Sewell is a guy who, of course, has established himself as one of the top defensive tackles in the CFL, and there you get an indication just of his pure strength working against the 2nd-year man, Alex Mateus.
That sack somersault that happens, it happened a lot last year. Over the middle this time for Henry Burris, and again is one of his favorite targets, Brad Sinopoli. So it's a quick 2-and-out. The Edmonton Eskimos, we talked about those sacks, which have not come as plentiful as they did last year. They came into tonight tied for 8th in the CFL with just 8 sacks on the season. Zach Medeiros is going to boot this from his 30. And a good kick. Wind blowing that way tonight. It's got a pretty good gust. And that's Kenzel Doe with a 25-yard line on a 56-yard boot. Just 3 points on the board. We've already had a turnover. We've got 5:19 to go, first quarter. Great night for football. The ball already in the air a lot here tonight. Let's go down to the sideline. And joining us tonight, Matthew Shinetti. Come on in.
Rod, notwithstanding what just happened to Mike Riley in that previous series, everyone is evaluating his growth under Jason Moss. And Darius Bowman is noticing his improved pocket presence, his leadership, and the knowledge he's having in the playbook. Now, Riley is hearing so much about his comparisons with Jason Moss as a player, but Bowman and Riley both agree that Moss as an offensive coordinator may be the best that they've had while they've been in Edmonton. And Riley says the communication they have as contemporaries, as quarterbacks, is so key that he's seeing more details in his game that he can improve upon game to game. Guys?
Well, Darius Bowman, chemistry as well. Thank you, Matt, with Mike Riley, and Bowman also on a record-setting pace coming in. Third in the league right now in receiving yardage coming into tonight's game.
Well, to hear both those guys heap praise on Jason Moss is absolutely no surprise. And this is a guy who's not that far removed from playing in the league, so understanding a lot of the concepts from a player's perspective very well.
Riley under duress that time. So after both teams have long drives to begin the game, we have had a couple of 2-and-outs now. Let's see if these defenses settle in.
Well, no doubt both of these defenses are feeling a little bit challenged this week. They've heard throughout the week about the receiving corps, the aerial attacks that each other would be facing. We'll see how they respond here today.
Grant Shaw into the wind. Will Smith with a shake. Henry Burris will begin at the 44-yard line when we come back. Just 3 points on the board, and Greg Ellingson had a lot to do with those 3 points. Catches galore so far and all season long. Saturday night football in the nation's capital on TSN rolls on. Tough one last week for Henry Burris in the loss, and his comeback a little vocal before tonight's game.
I don't even care what happened last week. It doesn't matter what happens last week. It's all about what happens right now. It doesn't matter what team that's won a championship. They've always went through their downs. But did they stop believing in one another? Did they stop believing in the system? Heck no. Because losing builds character and shows you who you truly are. And we are warriors.
Well, Henry Burris firing his team up before tonight's game. And Hank and this Red-Black team that made it to the Grey Cup game last November up against the team that took the cup from them in Winnipeg. 3 points on the board so far. 4 minutes to go, first quarter. And on the near sideline, Chris Williams has his first catch of the night. And Chris Williams got off to a Darrell Walker kind of start to this season. In fact, everybody was talking about Chris Williams, who, by the way, was the player of the month for July, one of the 3 stars. In fact, all 3 stars are here tonight, Trevor Harris and also Mike Riley. But since that time, last 3 games, Chris Williams is kind of flatlined.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see different receivers at different points in this year, quite frankly, go off a little bit. I mean, for me, it's kind of the CFL's equivalent of baseball's juice ball era right now.
Not enough juice on that ball for Patrick Lavoie. So you're saying they're not deflated, the balls are juiced? Is that what you're saying right now?
I'm not saying the balls are juiced. I'm not saying they're bottles of Andro on anybody's locker shelves.
I know what you're saying.
I'm saying they're coaches with yellow flags in their hands, and that's contributing to the ball being in the air a whole lot.
Saying yellow juice then. 3rd and 4 now, and Medeiros again. Well, we've certainly seen a lot of passing this year in the CFL, more than ever before. And Doe is thinking about taking it out. Now is a terrible decision.
Rookie returner, rookie mistake.
Huge one. Jason Moss will talk to him about that. 62-yard kick that went over his head, bounced in the end zone. And under the heading, what were you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, he makes a good decision to let it bounce into the end zone. but is sort of unprepared as to what he was going to do next. Once it's in there, keep it in there in that situation. The coverage was down the field. They were set. They were in their lanes. It's one thing if it's a line drive type kick that goes into the end zone where the kicker outkicks his coverage and you've got a chance to get it going back upfield, but that's a learning moment for Kensal Doe.
And we'll see how it plays out. Instead of giving up the point, a mere point, if Edmonton can't move the ball here, they're stuck on their 3-yard line. Make it 2-yard line. That could be a big turn in momentum and points. Riley now in trouble, but he throws deep. He's got his man in it. Great defensive play, but a penalty flag, and you don't like that call. Mitchell White on Darrell Walker, and for a moment it looked like Walker was sprung. White soars in. Looked like he batted it away, but was there some contact?
Yeah, we'll take a look and see if he made contact early, if he bumped the receiver as he went to make a play on this ball.
Pass interference, Ottawa number 21. Spot of the foul, first down.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, great play with his right hand. Keep an eye on the left hand of Mitchell White as this ball comes close.
And a yellow challenge flag has been thrown.
But you see the left hand of Mitchell White come around the waist of Darrell Walker just before that ball arrives. Watch the left.
Yeah, and I think that challenge will be heard, but the call I don't think is going to be overturned based on that. And it was hard to see from here because for a moment it looked like an absolutely great defensive play.
Watching that ball in the air and partially
Ottawa
shielded.
Is challenging that there was no pass interference on the play.
And I mean, we'll await the outcome on this. I think the call is going to stand, and I'll tell you what, give credit to the official for being in exactly the right spot to detect that reach around.
This is a big turn here, and it makes Kensal Doe feel a little bit better if the Eskimos do scrimmage right here, and it looks like this is probably a quick decision. It's a 40-yard pickup on that interference call.
For review, the ruling on the field stands. First down.
Crowd doesn't like it, but not sure even in the big screen they saw that close up.
And again, right at the bottom of your screen, watch the left hand right here grab around the receiver's waist. It's tough to make an argument against that one.
So the Eskimos get out of that big hole from the 2-yard line up near the 42. Riley again fires for a Darius Bowman. Bucket down at the 50-yard line where they'll go 1st and 10 once again. A 17-yard gain here.
Mitchell White knows he's going to be busy. Moving from the field side, the wide side where he's played most of his career, over to the boundary. We'll get a steady diet of the top 2 receivers over there.
4 receivers to the right. They'll keep it on the ground and they'll pound it with John White. Mike Riley talked yesterday about having John White back in the lineup and what he does for the Eskimos. They've had to, of course, use a few backs last season because of White's absence. Just an entire year with a blown Achilles.
Yeah, and even Jason Moss talked about how great it was to see him the first time he touched the ball this year. This is a guy who averaged almost 7 yards a carry a couple of years ago. Also a terrific receiver with his quickness out of the backfield and a surprisingly adept blocker at his size.
Riley, top. Bowman took a hit. It's like maybe a bit of a stinger here. He's going to go to the sideline. He looks like he's nicked up.
Well, this is what you've got to like about what Jermaine Robinson brings to the Ottawa secondary. Terrific physical presence, a guy who's looking for the hit. You see a Darius Bowman come out of the slot. He'll break back inside. He gets that position, but who's there to help? Jermaine Robinson coming downhill thinking hit first, ball, not so much.
Bradshaw trying to find that coffin corner inside the 10-yard line. And it bounces out near the 15-yard line with 1:12 to go. in the first quarter here tonight in Ottawa. The Edmonton Eskimos back home against the Alouettes. Thursday Night Football presented by the Brick. Week 8 in the CFL. 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific on TSN 1, 3, 4, and 5. Swinging into week number 8. Eskimos tonight trying to even their record at 3-3. Off to a slow start. Last couple of losses. In fact, these two Grey Cup finalists both on 2-game losing streaks. Burris to Grigsby. And a flag.
You saw Reuben Frank, one of the newcomers on this Edmonton Eskimo defense. He essentially takes the place of Willie Jefferson in the end rotation.
Ottawa number 64. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Ottawa team, Dwayne, that takes a lot of penalties. They're second last in the league.
Oh, tough field position here for Henry Burris and this Ottawa offense.
Burris said he looked good, felt good in practice this week, getting a little more rhythm. Looked good in the first series. Hangs in again and goes over the top and trying to find Ernest Jackson. So interesting here now on second down. Again, keep in mind the Red Blacks have the wind.
You could see that window that Henry Burris was eyeing up, basically down the hash mark. Might have had a shot to Ernest Jackson there, but just a little bit off the mark.
Could like to get this play off with at least one more play to come before the end of the quarter based on the wind here. Don't know if they will. Oh, there's something you don't see every day. Chris Williams in his paws. And for the Red Blacks, they will get third down and a chance to kick if they do with the wind, with 3 seconds remaining in the quarter. But Chris Williams usually catches this 99 out of 100.
Yeah, I mean, this is something Chris Williams battled last year. For as productive as he was, he had the occasional drop. And in this case, you can see exactly why. He let that ball into his body. Off the pads and down to the ground. Got to catch it in your hands, away from your body. You can cushion it and control it.
Medeiros instead takes 2 and puts Edmonton on the board on the final play. So not a lot of scoring. Something we've grown accustomed to early in this CFL season. Teams feeling themselves out. A little cautious to start. Seeing that here tonight. 1-point ball game on Saturday Night Football. Grey Cup champions in the nation's capital tonight. See if they start to open it up. Second quarter straight up. Well, we've seen this trend before. Low scoring first quarter. In fact, the Edmonton Eskimos, Grey Cup champions, their average for first quarters, they're right on it this season at 2 points. Is there a rhyme or reason to that, you think?
Well, both teams easing their way out of the gates, and oftentimes you're going to see teams offensively working off a little bit of a script, set plays where, as much as anything, you're trying to get a little bit of a read of what the defense is doing, how they're going to handle certain formations, and so on. And I think particularly for these two teams where there's some familiarity, where defensive coaches have a pretty good idea of the offensive scheme, there's going to be even more of that feeling out.
And I know the Edmonton Eskimos have had personnel changes. Is there a bit of a hangover, do you think, for the Eskimos early in this season from that Grey Cup championship?
Well, I don't even look at it as that. I mean, it's the term defending Grey Cup champions in this instance especially, to me, is used very loosely because it's a very different team than the one that won a year ago. This is the 2016 Edmonton Eskimos, still a good football team, but it's not the 2015 Edmonton Eskimos.
Ansel Doe up near the 42-yard line. It just seemed like yesterday, but as Mike Riley told us yesterday, this was then and this is now, of course, the Grey Cup game. Eskimos beating the Red Blacks in Winnipeg, and Mike Riley named the game MVP and getting a chance to hoist the coveted trophy.
In that game, something of a classic that came down essentially to the final possession. You look at the overtime meeting between these teams to start the season. We've got the makings of a pretty good rivalry here, East and West.
Darius Bowman. Former teammate Damaso Munoz tracked him down from behind, brought him down.
Well, Damaso Munoz has certainly found a home in the middle of this Ottawa REDBLACKS defense. He's a guy who had played much of his career as a weak side linebacker. So previously in college, played a little bit of safety as well as linebacker. But such an active guy, a sure tackler as well. Used to have that great combination in Edmonton of him flanking J.C. Sherritt in that linebacking core.
Second down again. Riley rolling now, signaling, wants to take it himself, and is brought down, and the spot is going to be right on the first down mark. Had to get to the 52, and he does, and so he induces a fresh set of downs. They move the sticks.
Yeah, and this is one of those moments that I'm sure had people holding their breaths a little bit as to why Mike Riley's not hook sliding, but it's because he's very aware of exactly where that first down marker is. So he's not just going to slide in front of Boyette, the dime defensive back. He's going to fight for as much as he can get, and it pays off.
Riley slinging it out. Far side, looking for Nate Kuhorn, doesn't get it. One of the interesting things for the Edmonton Eskimos the last couple of weeks, you talked about personnel packages. How about Simeon Rotier also moving into center for just the second time to go there last week? Justin Sorensen out of the lineup. How much does that affect their O-line? And by the way, this is a very big O-line.
A huge offensive line. We know that this is something that Ed Hervey strived to create when he took over as the general manager of this team. That is a massive group.
Riley, just got hammered. And there's going to be a roughing the passer call, and Mike Riley looks like he's going to the bench, and he just got walloped.
Well, Damaso Munoz came in high all the way on this one.
This looked like a knockout punch. And Mike Riley kind of getting back to the huddle here, and that's 15 yards.
Major foul,
on this
roughing the
play.
passer. Ottawa number 45. 15-yard penalty, automatic.
Watch
first
this.
Down.
Haymaker.
Yeah, Munoz comes free on the twist. And you can see, I mean, he's clearly up around the head on that one.
Riley taking it in the chops. And looks like he's bleeding. So he'll have to leave the field here. The game is Gordon Lynch as Riley now comes back. James Franklin rather into the game. So Riley comes back in. So he went to the sideline just for the one play.
First action of the season, first pass of the season, at least for James Franklin.
Now Riley again. Riley goes deep, and he's got his man and could not catch up with it. An overthrow. Riley had him in downfield quickly. Chris Getzlaff, who had 6, if he could catch up with that.
Yeah, Getzlaff had a step on his man, and Riley's looking to try and get this one outside shoulder, basically where only his guy can get to that football. But just far enough outside that not even his guy can get to it.
Sean White has the best percentage of all CFL kickers right now. This is from the 50. It's with the wind, and it is not a good kick. Then Jamil Smith decides to bring it out. Knocked out of bounds at the 20-yard line. Kick that didn't have a chance. Mike Riley taking a shot, getting attended to on the sideline. Like a knuckleball here from White. Still a 1-point ball game. Mike Riley getting taped up. A shot to the helmet, to the head. Might have got hurt as he fell to the ground. So we'll monitor Riley's situation. Matthew Shinetti is down there.
Looks like the corner in an MMA match between rounds over there. I know his head coach Jason Moss is a big mixed martial arts fan.
Ottawa 3 straight 2-and-outs, and over the middle goes Chris Williams. Dion Lacey chases him down, a gain of 7. Well, we always compared Mike Riley to Rocky Balboa the last couple of years, and I tell you what, nothing will keep that guy out of a ball game.
Well, it's been said so many times over the years, particularly his first year in Edmonton as the team really struggled. Mike Riley took a beating, but never wavered. That toughness has been his calling card ever since.
Second down, here comes the blitz. There goes the ball, and into the hands of Greg Ellingson. Something about Burris to Ellingson in this stadium. They've got some magic together, and that's a huge gain of 43 yards. And Ellingson had a lot of room here, Dwayne.
Yeah, we'll watch Greg Ellingson working from that trail position in the bunch. You see the receivers, the defender is just a little bit slow to react.
And there he goes again. Ellingson inside the 20-yard line, and that's his MO. Greg Ellingson, he makes the catches, but it's the yards after the catch where he excels.
Yeah, absolutely tremendous. After the catch, you'll see him enter the picture from the left side, hitch screen. Nice block there from Ernest Jackson, the most physical of those Ottawa receivers.
Burris. Oh, tip drill there. And the Red Blacks are lucky the Eskimos didn't take that away. Kenny Ladler was there, Dion Lacey. Burris throwing it into gridlock.
And they're trying to hit Jackson on that quick slant. But you'll see the defender sitting in there, Dion Lacey, the linebacker, doesn't give up that inside position quite that easily. Lacey doing a nice job as he's seeing regular action on defense this season.
Henry, touchdown, Ernest Jackson. And a souvenir in the end zone. And our first major of the night comes courtesy of a perfect slant pattern to Ernest Jackson.
And this time he gets clear of that linebacker. Last time you saw Dion Lacey able to get right in that lane. And here you'll see once again, Lacey's the guy sitting inside waiting, but Jackson turned him to the outside to create some space. You know, that's thinking man's football right there, right? He had trouble getting that space, getting the inside release on the linebacker the last time. Who changes up the route to make a move to create space.
Big drive again. Ernest Jackson, third touchdown of the season. Red Blacks up 10-2. Henry Burris and Ernest Jackson combining here. First touchdown of the night. TD Place Stadium. These two offenses and now starting to get some traction in the game. It's probably not going to be our last either. Chris Milo. Once again, it's Canceldale. Brought down near the 30-yard line. Wind kind of shifting a little bit, swirling now here at TD Place Stadium. Here comes Mike Riley. Let's go down to Matt.
Interesting, Rod, to look at how Mike Riley deals with the wrap that's on his head. The Eskimos training staff took a while trying to stop the bleeding between his eyes, and you can see the wrap underneath his helmet is a little just above his eyes. So the Eskimos training staff was keeping close eye on him as he was throwing the football on the sidelines to making sure there wasn't any discomfort with it. Rod?
All right, we'll see how Mike Riley does with that head wrap, and see it underneath the helmet. Riley's been able to move the ball. Suddenly the Red Black defense One turnover they forced earlier and getting some pressure on Mike Riley. But just 2 points on the board for Edmonton. There was a hold on that return, so a long field again. And this is something that Rick Campbell talked about, not giving the Edmonton Eskimos good starting points. Another deep field here for John White.
Well, we talk about it all the time, but field position is such a critical part in the Canadian game. Makes the role of punters, kickers, return men so incredibly important. So you see Zach Evans, the guy who had the early fumble recovery.
Riley, play action. Hanging on. Right at the first down marker is Darius Bowman. Let's go back to that Mike Riley hit and take a look exactly what happened on the play. How he got cut. Well, there's a shot there. Maybe it was there. Yeah, it was just that helmet. Probably
yeah, I mean, so much of it
helmet.
can be that, yeah, as the helmet shifts around.
Riley again hangs on and then whistles it into Nate Kuhorn, and flags go down after the play. And the Edmonton O-linemen are saying it's against Ottawa.
Yeah, you wonder if that might be related to the smattering of hits on Mike Riley. One might have come in a little low, I thought.
Ottawa,
Another
number 99.
the passer.
15-yard penalty. First down.
Well, you're going to see 3 Red Blacks defenders converge on Mike Riley. Watch Connor Williams coming from his DN spot. I believe he was the man who ended up coming in low. This wasn't so much about timing, but about location of the hit. Williams was the guy who came high. Another man ended up coming across the legs of the Edmonton quarterback.
They keep coming at Mike Riley's going to look like a mummy by the end of the night.
Yeah, could have been a couple of flags thrown on that one.
Taking a beating already. 1st and 10 after another roughing the passer call. 8 minutes to go before halftime. Stands in, delivers it, fumble football. Edmonton has it. There's a flag down though, and likely an interference call.
Chris Greaves, Western product, quick to get on that football.
Defensive holding, Ottawa number 21. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Mitchell White again, that's another flag on him. Tough assignment here tonight.
And you saw that right hand slip down around the waist as Darrell Walker tried to make his break to the inside.
Well, another first down. Close to the midfield stripe. Riley play action again. And his old teammate almost had a pick, and if he did, nobody's catching him. Tomaso Munoz.
Antoine Pruneau supplying some of the pressure on that one as well. Red Blacks linebacking core cranks it up here.
Bruno and Munoz, great tag team. So the Red Blacks, what will they do here? Show 5, are they bringing the house? Yes, they are. Riley, deep drop, now in trouble, penalty flag. Likely a hold here. Mike Riley hurdles down the field. This is probably coming back. Riley was able to slip out, but that had to do with a hold in the backfield.
Legal block, hands to the face. Edmonton number 65. 10-yard penalty, still second down.
That's the center, Simeon Rotier. Got the hands up high, but penalty aside, you know, Mike Riley has not been running the ball as much as he has at other points in his career in the early going, and you know, he's getting it out quickly, but it wouldn't surprise me at all to see in this game if this is something Mike Riley starts to use as a little bit of a weapon to impact this Ottawa pass rush a little bit, make them think twice if they know they might have to redirect with him taking off.
Pump and go, far side, first down marker, and some more here for Getzlaf, but he's going to be short of the first down on 2nd and 20. Former Saskatchewan Rough Rider Chris Getzlaf takes it into Ottawa territory, but not enough for the first down. So it will be Grant Shaw once again.
And tough to get that kind of yardage upfield with the time the defense has to react to a throw out to the wide side like that. You saw all the pursuit reacting, getting out to where the Eskimo receiver was.
Again, Ottawa without Tristan Jackson, who has been returning kicks, along with Chris Williams. Jamil Smith back in the lineup, gets a chance to do that tonight. Shaw now trying to get one to the corner, but it is going to get out of the end zone for a single. 7-point ball game now. Eskimos still unable to find the end zone. The Red Blacks have once tonight. That's the difference in the ball game. And the rematch of the East-West rivals. The Grey Cup game. Coming up at halftime with the boys in the studios, GMC Precision Playbook tonight. Matthew Dunnigan talks about the root tree. Unlike the money tree, that's Milt Stegall.
Milt is notoriously cheap. Now, he might have the money tree in his backyard, but it is well fenced in.
It's his week, and you're calling him cheap.
Milt didn't pay for the flight to Winnipeg.
Here you go. Grigsby out of bounds, and great week for Milt in Winnipeg, honored there. Number 85, a guy on the field for the Edmonton Eskimos. Wears that number because of Milt Stegall, Nate Kuhorn.
Yeah, Milt is a guy who had an impact on a lot of people throughout his career. Someone who has been often imitated but never duplicated. Well-deserved honor for him the other night.
2nd and 5, 4-man rush. Pump fake there, and at the first down marker. And again, it's the safety valve. When in doubt, go to one of your best second down receivers in the game, Brad Sinopoli.
Sinopoli and Ernest Jackson both so proficient on the underneath routes. They've got Williams and Ellingson stretching that defense deep.
First and 10, now deep. Williams behind cover, can't hang on. Patrick Watkins using that height.
Yeah, and this is why you see the trend towards taller DBs. Right there, Patrick Watkins doesn't need to run stride for stride with the speedster Williams, because his height, his reach, his jumping ability give him that range to make a play on the ball.
Again, Williams had space. That was extinguished quickly by Patrick Watkins on a wobbler from Henry Burris. 6 feet 5 inches, Patrick Watkins. Burris behind the receiver. That's Khalil Payton getting back in the Ottawa lineup.
Payton drawing in to that starting lineup in place of Jake Hardy in that ratio shuffle. International receiver.
His last game exactly 1 year ago. Hasn't played since.
Limited to just 1 catch last season. 3rd-year Red Black.
Medeiros. Now again, that wind shifting here. Penalty flags down. Haley Atwell stars in the hot new legal drama Conviction, Mondays this fall on CTV. Mike Riley getting some throws in on the sideline. There were 2 penalties on that boot by Zach Medeiros. Officials are conferring over at the 30-yard line. Both units have come off the field, and looks like they may do this again.
We've seen Zach Medeiros pull that ball down and run a couple of times in recent weeks. I wondered after that bobbled snap if he might think about the same thing that time, but the S did a nice job forcing the kick, making sure someone was there to ensure that he got rid of that football.
So the Red Blacks likely had players downfield. Jason Moss has a decision to make. Take the ball where it is at the 30 plus penalty yardage, or get Zach Medeiros to do it again. And see how that wind also affected the flight of that ball. Going to come to a conclusion at some point here. 7-point ball game. Here's the call.
Legally downfield on a kick, Ottawa number 50. After the play, objectionable conduct, Edmonton number 27. Be first down where the ball was caught.
So the penalties wipe each other out, and that's what they're doing, where the ball was caught at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, so the initial penalty on Ottawa, the snapper, Kevin Malcolm, out too early, but if you keep an eye in this area, Mike Dubuisson, number 27 for Edmonton, he's fine. He gets away with the push. Where he gets the objectionable conduct is right here. You can't take your helmet off on the field of play. And that's where the flag is thrown.
It was costly for the Eskimos. They would have had good yardage there. Riley now deep drop and then fires it in once again to Darius Bowman. They're going to give him the spot ahead of the first down marker.
And you'll see Bowman matched up on Antoine Pruneau, and I can tell you Pruneau was looking forward to this matchup. Loves the challenge of taking on the league's top guys. He wasn't sure how much he was going to see Bowman over to his side of the field today. But you see part of what makes Darius Bowman so good is we talked about size with Patrick Watkins and size with the Eskimos offensive line. The size of Darius Bowman, he's like a power forward boxing out, shielding the defender away from the ball on that play.
Out of the backfield, John White slaps aside Mitchell White. Going to be a couple yards short of a first down. Well, again, both sides talked about their receiving core yesterday and talked to the Eskimos, who has the best receiving core. Who do you think they said? And talked to Ottawa. Of course, the Red Blacks like what they got. All-star receiving core is here tonight. 3-minute warning on the field. 10-3 ball game. We'll step aside and come back to Ottawa.
Hi again, Rod, Matt, Milt, Schultze back in the studio, getting set for halftime 3 minutes away. We're going to talk about the toughness of Mike Riley, about the Ottawa defense, about Greg Ellingson as well. Matty will also have the GMC playbook too. It is all coming up and more 3 minutes away. Oh wow, they're all in sync and ready to go, aren't they? Let's go back to Rod and Dwayne.
I'm not sure about them. I'm not sure about any of them.
It was a strong finish by Schultze on the end, though. He's committed to the wave.
They were sleeping the other night. I don't know what they do tonight. I don't know what they do in that studio. Twilight here now in Ottawa. Under 3 to go before halftime. Haven't seen the offensive fireworks yet. Expected that coming in with the numbers that both quarterbacks can put up. Defenses have ratcheted it up tonight, and there's another penalty, and we've seen a lot of flags as well. Mitchell White has the football.
And John White took a pretty good hit as that play was whistled down.
Helmet is off, and they're going to look at John White.
Procedure, Edmonton number 66. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
So it'll be 1st and 15 now for Jason Moss's Eskimos. Again, White missed all of last season with a ruptured left Achilles tendon. Time took a heavy shot at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, John Boyette in there in the secondary is going to come downhill and meet John White in the hole, but the play's whistled dead. Boyette follows through on that hit, and sometimes there's honestly not much you can do. But John White at that point wasn't really protecting himself.
Wow, looked like a face mask
yeah,
there as
Jermaine
well.
Robinson caught him on with that face mask, so no wonder he was in that vulnerable position.
First and 15. And almost picked off. And again, a flag in the backfield. It's going to be roughing the passer here. Again against the REDBLACKS. Mike Riley takes another whack in the backfield.
Major foul, roughing the passer. Ottawa, number 92. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Zach Evans too close this time, just as Riley unleashed the football.
Yeah, right behind that goalpost, you'll see Zach Evans. From the nose, he gets there, and he kind of lets up, but first point of contact, his helmet to the face mask.
Leads his case. He's a former teammate of his in Saskatchewan, Chris Getzlaff, making the catch, and another penalty. Almost every play here in this second quarter, we've had a flag.
Again, you'll see Zach Evans, he's right on the nose. Comes free on that twist. And you see a very disheveled looking Mike Riley as the helmet shifts, revealing that bandage under there already.
It has been a tough night for that quarterback.
5-yard penalty, first down.
So this is against Edmonton this time for 1st and 15 once more.
And the fans are a little disgruntled because they see Zach Evans not follow through on the tackle. He lets up on the play. Oh, zipper head there.
He's always upset. Riley stepping up and shovels it off. What a play to Calvin McCarty. Got some positive yardage when it looked like he would be sacked.
A nice dish here by Riley as he's wrapped up.
So now 2nd down and manageable suddenly after this.
Yeah, keep an eye on McCarty coming from right to left on your screen. He cuts his guy, does his job in pass pro. He also follows through to stay alive for his quarterback as the pressure arrives.
2nd and 7. Eskimos trying to find the end zone. Free play here. No, they're going to whistle it down. REDBLACKS jumped. Way offside. Now, were they drawn or was it just a jump? Again, John Boyette on the edge.
Boyette getting lots of action in that
offside
secondary.
Ottawa, number 98. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
So they are giving that to Paul Hazel, one of the newcomers for the REDBLACKS.
A guy who started the season with the Toronto Argonauts. Backup D lineman, special teamer.
So 2nd and 7 to 2nd and 2. And John White head down, gets the first down up near the 35-yard line.
Rod, just to finish that thought on the call on Zach Evans roughing the quarterback, you heard the groans of the fans as they saw the replay on the big screen because Evans didn't follow through on the tackle. So they're kind of thinking, well, he let up, they shouldn't call it, but the fact is, first contact was up high.
Now very close to the helmet, Corey Watson. Again, near the first down marker, so the Eskimos having some success here. They've kind of warmed into games all season, Dwayne. The Eskimos talked about their slow starts, averaging 2 points every first quarter this season. They start piling the points up in the 2nd and 3rd quarters, though. But again, they've been nowhere near the numbers they had during their glorious Grey Cup run last year. Riley, penalty flag, again, Likely a hold here. And on the far sideline, Darius Bowman has a first down, but it's coming back.
Well, another hit still on Mike Riley as he threw that football.
Holding. Edmonton number 66. 10-yard penalty. First down.
It has been a tough first half for Mike Riley, and there's the humongous Matt O'Donnell.
And it's hard to hide your indiscretions at 6'11", 350 pounds. Massive man. You saw Ettore Latanzio get the edge on him there.
There was an injured Ottawa player on the far sideline during that Darius Bowman play.
Well,
Forrest Hightower.
Yeah, and lots of concern because we talked off the top about the injuries in the Ottawa secondary, and particularly on the short side of the field. The two usual starters there, two of Ottawa's most experienced defensive backs, Abdul Kane usually at the corner, Jarrell Gavin's usually at halfback. Those guys are both out of the lineup. They moved Mitchell White and Forrest Hightower over to that side. And now you've got Hightower down on the field.
They've been falling like flies in Ottawa. Mark Nelson. That's the thing about this game. You have all the pieces in place. You can be going on all the runs you want. A couple of injuries. It's always great to have that depth. And Marcel Desjardins, general manager in Ottawa, that's one of the reasons they've been able to turn things around. Of course, last year, all of the players they accumulated and able to plug and play so many times.
And here's a look at the difference in that secondary from last week to this. See White, Hightower, Robinson still in the lineup, but flipping sides. Amon Claiborne and Nick Taylor coming on to play on that wide side of the field. Two first-year CFLers on that side. Now they've dressed ample depth. We mentioned John Boyette has been in there a lot in dime situations. Jonathan Rose, who had some starts earlier in the season before the arrival of Mitchell White at corner. Jonathan Rose dressed as well, so he'll get some action back out there, the rookie out of Nebraska.
You know, the Edmonton Eskimos trying to drive this ball, try to tie it before halftime. They've got time, but it's 1st and 20 now. Riley has Calvin McCarty beside him, sends out 4 receivers to his right, but goes out of the backfield and drops it into McCarty. And that's one thing that Calvin McCarty has done so well through the years, that little release valve out of the backfield. He's a great blocking back as well.
Yeah, Calvin McCarty this is a guy who one year actually led all Canadian Football League running backs in receptions earlier in his career, but has evolved to more of a traditional fullback role. Nice redirect there by Zach Evans. He recognized that McCarty was setting up for the screen and covered to get in under tackle.
They pump the volume up here in Ottawa. Riley now to Bowman, shot down. John Boyette, he's been in on a lot of plays here tonight, the former Oregon Duck. And the Eskimo drive will end here. The best they'll do is a field goal attempt.
And you'll see Boyette, number 31, coming downhill on this one all the way. Aggressive tackler. He's a guy who joined the team partway through last season. Battled injuries a little bit, but as he's been healthy this year, week by week, he's getting more and more snaps defensively. So finding room for him on passing downs, trying to get a good player out on the field.
Sean White buries that one, splitting them, but however, there is a penalty flag, and White is slow to get up, and this might be roughing the kicker. If it is, this drive will continue for the Eskimos, and forget 3, they can still go for 7. They were setting up the block on the White attempt. Jonathan Rose looks up at the scoreboard, and I think he is definitely the perpetrator. Now the field goal was successful. It was 3rd down and 12. Sean White, though, comes to the sideline, and more than anything, the Eskimos want to make sure he's okay.
Contacting the kicker, Ottawa, number 34. Penalty is declined. Field goal is good.
So they declined it. They take the field goal. Contacting the kicker.
You see Jonathan Rose comes off the edge. And it's more that he catches, like Sean White's leg is still in the air as he takes out that back foot. That's what had the Eskimos looking for a roughing rather than a contacting call.
Roughing call would have been a 15-yarder, would have kept that drive alive. Instead, they take the field goal, a 4-point game. Still time, though, for Henry Burris to engineer something here, to put it in field goal position for Chris Milo. Now keep in mind they're against the wind. Burris has it stripped. Ball's loose, and Edmonton trying to pick it up. Reese Pigskin, and they're signaling Edmonton football. One official, and now the other official says yes, it's Ottawa ball.
Well, this is a great play by Odell Willis. He's working against pretty good left tackle in Sir Vincent Rogers. It's going to come off the right side of your screen. Gives him the what you talking about Willis around the edge. Slaps that ball free.
Burris now, hook slide. Looks like a first down. 35 seconds to go. He's going to have to hurry it up again. But that all worked out because the ball actually bounded forward, gave them about 2 or 3 extra yards on that play.
Black bounce.
So 1st and 10 again for the Red Blacks. Where will Burris go? He's going down. The ball is loose. And again, the Red Blacks recover. Henry Burris taking a couple of hits now. Marcus Howard in on the play.
As Burris went to step up, it's that situation where the right tackle, Lauzon Seguin, working against Marcus Howard. He can't see where Burris is, so he's blocking where the intended launch point is. When his quarterback steps up, he can't really see that. Angle changes. Howard sees him, ducks inside to make a hit on the quarterback.
So with 20 seconds, they're not going to try a Hail Mary or anything. They're going to take the clock down and take the lead into the locker room. Not exactly the showcase that we thought coming in.
No, you've got 2 defenses that I think were pretty well prepared coming into this one, doing a very good job eliminating the big play, which is key.
Teams that like to light it up offensively, not so far tonight. Just 1 touchdown and a lot of penalties. 10-6 Red Blacks at the half. Grey Cup rematch, Week 1 rematch. Halftime in Ottawa.
The GMC Precision Playbook, brought to you by GMC. We are professional grade, with Matt Dunnigan.
The route tree is a universal numbering system for route running. It keeps offensive terminology and communication as easy as counting to 9.
Hits to Parker. Anthony Parker skipped away. Touchdown.
Odd numbers are inside cuts and even numbers are outside. Routes 1, 2, and 3 are quick with a depth of precisely 6 yards. 4 and 5 are intermediate between 12 and 14 yards. 6 and 7 are just beyond intermediate depth and they vary depending on coverage. 8 and 9 are deep routes designed to stretch a defense vertically. Route 1 on the tree is a quick hitch. Route 3 is a quick slant. Route 5 is a curl. Route 7 is a dig. Route 9 is a post. Route 2 on the tree is a quick out. Route 4 is an intermediate out. Route 6 is a post corner. Route 8 is a go. jet, fly, vertical, or my favorite, the bomb. Now, if I was to call a play with using just the route tree, I would start with the inside receiver to the field and work out. Then call my complementary backside combination of routes inside, out as well. So, if I had a 3-2 formation called, 3 receivers to the wide side and 2 to the boundary or short side, a combination route could be 6-11-84. This is just a basic route tree, and the variations on these routes are many. Stay tuned for those endless possibilities. Ready, break.
Back inside our CFL on TSN studio at the half, the Ottawa REDBLACKS leading the Edmonton Eskimos by a score of 10-6, and back with the panel, Milt Stegall, Matt Dunnigan, and Chris Schultz. Now, we were planning on talking about several things during this half, including the great chemistry Henry Burris enjoys with Greg Ellingson. Burris just spoke with Matthew Shinetti. First, have a listen to what he had to say.
Henry, both defenses appear to be very aggressive. How do you exploit what they're doing and move your offense down the field in the second half?
Well, this game's exactly what I said it was going to be yesterday, and I got to do a better job of taking care of the ball in the pocket in those situations there. And but again, right now we got the lead, so we got to make some good halftime adjustments to come out here and kind of counter what they're doing. We got to mix in our running game and stuff like that. But right now we're in a good position still with the lead, but we got to do a better job. I do as far as taking good care of the football.
You had a real passionate, emotional message for your team before the game. Have you seen that kind of emotional reaction you wanted to see in the first half?
Well, there's these guys at TSN who always want to jump on me every week. And, it seems like me, here I am out here playing hard, trying to help turn around every team in this league. And for people who are out there, I've turned around 4 teams in this league. And I've helped do it here, too. So all the people talking junk out there, you can take that and shove it. All right? That's all I got to say.
Love it.
Okay, so animated and upset Henry Burris. And he has been facing a lot of criticism, including from us. So your reaction, let's just say it right down the line.
I love the passion. I love the passion. I guess Henry Burris has been in the league, 17, 18 years, and I don't know if I said anything about him. I have to go back and check. I'm not sure. But I love his passion. I don't know if that's the right time to say it. There's a time and place to say those things, and I don't know if that's the right time. You're going into halftime. Your team is trying to win a game. You've lost 2 games in a row, and that's what you're thinking about. I understand why he's saying it. He's done a lot for this league. He's done a lot for, 4 or 5 different teams, but that's not the right time to say it.
We have pumped his tires. We talk about Henry when he's good. We talk about Henry when he's bad, and we're honest, and that's our approach. That's our job. And as a professional who's been in this league that long, he's got to have thicker skin. That comes with the territory. You're under the microscope as a quarterback, and you got to be tougher than that and take that. To react that way, there's a lot going on right now, and I think that's pressure, Schultz. I think he's under a lot of pressure, and it's coming out in a very negative way there, and that's not like Hank. I don't agree with what he said there. The timing of it, that's just he's got to be better than that.
Yeah.
It's difficult to kind of assess this because it's so unusual to hear that type of reaction. But I will say this. In our job, we talk about the players. So if the players come back and talk about us, hey, we got to sit back and we got to take it too.
Absolutely.
In a lot of ways, it's not so much that it's one-sided. What we say, we think about and we discuss. And if people could see our meetings before we go on air, they last for hours talking about what is right, what is wrong, what is truthful, what is not truthful. So, Henry, trust me when I say this. Any criticism we have out of you is based on football. It's not based on anything personal at all. We have a lot of respect for you, and we've stated that on many times. But trust me, we know that we are on the outside looking in. So if he's critical on us, we're going to sit back and take it. And as a quarterback, sometimes he has to sit back and take it too.
That's the nature of the beast, though. That's the nature of the beast. It happens everywhere in sport.
Yes.
Analysts talk about the players in the game, and good and bad. And I just that's his prerogative. He wants to act that way. That's fine.
Bad in Canada, go to the States.
And in our job, if everyone liked us, we wouldn't be doing our job.
I don't like you at all, man.
I don't like you either.
Okay, fine.
But I have to work with you, unfortunately.
I don't like you, man.
It'll take another panel chat at some other time to deal with all of that. At the half, 10-6, Ottawa.
It doesn't matter what happened last week. It's all about what happens right now.
It's fumbled. It's up in the air. And Zach Evans has it. Henry Burris swarmed and brought down. There's that patented roll. Henry. Touchdown. Ernest Jackson.
Tim Horton's CFL must-see moments.
Here we go.
I love it. A little late-night football.
Let's play ball. Comes up firing, and it's picked. And this is 6.
And Winnipeg explodes.
Here they come. Jennings and Soto. What a catch. Manny show. Bright lights tonight in Montreal.
Chris Normand goes leaping. Look at this high jump. Wow.
The gas on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Mitchell to the end zone. Touchdown. Parker holds on.
At the half in Ottawa, REDBLACKS 10, Eskimos 6. Here's Schultze with the stats.
Boy, everything numerically is about as even as you can get. The only real impressive thing to me that is one-sided, 0 turnovers for Ottawa. See if they can do that in the second half.
I'll tell you, it has been one tough half for Eskimos quarterback Mike Riley, who at one point got cut and needed a little wrap there, Milt.
Oh, he got his Rambo on. He takes it.
Which Rambo movie is this, Rod? Do you know?
Let's see. Which one's that? That wouldn't be First Blood, would it be? I think
second, third, fourth,
yeah,
fifth
anyway,
blood.
one of the Rambo movies. Anyway, that's our comparison of the half. REDBLACKS and Eskies. Ottawa won narrowly in Edmonton in week 1 that took overtime, and they're within 4 points with the second half kickoff at TD Place coming up here on TSN.
Back in Ottawa, as usual, between these rivals, a close ball game. 4 points right now. The Eskimos still have yet to score a touchdown. With Darius Bowman, here's Matthew Shinetti.
Darius, there was a lot of reaction on your sidelines about some of the hits that the REDBLACKS were laying on you guys. Are you seeing them being a little too aggressive, maybe going a little too high?
Oh, man, it's a man's sport, so I think it's all within the game. Well, we got to go out and give them guys a couple of licks. But honestly, man, it's a physical game. You can't be concerned about that. We're all about finishing, man. We got a couple more plays to make, and we're trying to go home with a win.
How do you finish in the second half?
Oh, man, keep being aggressive. On offense, man, we got to eliminate the penalties. We've been talking about that all year. But as long as we eliminate the penalties, that kind of challenge us man-to-man at times as receivers make our play, and I think we're going to be all right. We'll put our trust in Mike.
Thanks, Adair.
No problem. Appreciate it.
Well, Mike Riley is taking a lot of hits. Had that rap. Guess we're going to call him not Rocky now. We're going to call him Rambo. Rambo Riley. Was basically the Ottawa REDBLACKS punching bag in that first half. And for Ottawa, Henry Burris, more vocal than we have seen him in a long time, and it began in the pregame speech, and it continued in the interview with Matthew Shinetti.
Yeah, and I mean, that chip on his shoulder is something that has always been a part of what has motivated Henry, particularly in the back half of his career. It's where he takes a little bit of fire.
Oh, running into a red and black wall. Here's Kenzel Doe. Henry, not exactly enamored. Is that directed at you?
Wasn't directed at me. I mean, yeah, you know what? Yeah. We've all had moments in our life where we wanted to tell someone back at the network to shove it, haven't we? I'm just saying.
Have you?
If we're all being honest.
Have you? Wrapped up and ripped down. Now, having said that, do you concur with the panel that there is a right time and a wrong time to release your pent-up emotion?
You can't let it become front and center. You know, I mean, you don't want to take it personally. You don't want it to become your focus. Your focus needs to be what's going on the field. And I hope for Henry Burris he's able to direct it and channel it in that way.
Well, he's been around the league for a long time and probably had to rechannel a number of times. Mike Riley, there's a holding call or an illegal block and downfield for Corey Watson, but this one is going to be another penalty against the Eskimos, and exactly what Darius Bowman, and I think both coaches probably addressed that. That was a penalty-filled second quarter that took a lot of the flow out of the ball game, and both teams had their share of penalties.
Yeah, and I think
Edmonton number 62. Penalty is declined. Third down.
I think when you look at Darius Bowman's comments with regard to the game maybe getting a little bit chippy and so on, I think you're seeing some of the rivalry.
Did he tell anybody to shove it?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. I think it was implied, though.
Okay.
You know, you look at this ball game, it's a pretty good rivalry developing between these two teams. Again, going back to Grey Cup, a season opener, they know it's going to be a tight, hard-fought contest. You've got some ties between these two teams, obviously. It's going to bring out some emotion. And it's about, again, channeling that emotion in the right way and not letting the game get out of hand in terms of penalties.
Both special teams have done an excellent job tonight on return coverage. So now Henry Burris, who's got that off his chest, now with good field position, trying to get his team to the house once more and extend this lead.
Yeah, and for Hank now it's time to walk the walk.
Eskimos converge on Nick Grigsby, and again Grigsby part of the musical running backs for the Ottawa REDBLACKS, and he's a durable guy. He's been around the league. Of course, they began the season with William Powell. In the preseason, he got hurt. Trayvon Van got hurt. Grigsby is the guy right now. Sets up 2nd down and 7, just into Edmonton territory with a 4-point advantage. Burris now. Tight coverage again. Good defensive play by the vet, J.C. Sherritt.
And Sherritt, a guy who's best known as a run stopper between the tackles, doing a terrific job there in pass coverage on the running back Grigsby.
So quick 2 and out.
See Sherritt range out here following the running back. No contact, hand across to break up that play. Textbook defense there from one of the best in the business.
Zach Medeiros. Eskimos close there. Lofting kick. Once again, downfield quickly and very little return. 12.5 to go, 3rd quarter, and the rough night for Mike Riley. He's used to this stuff, though. That's one of the reasons he's become a champion and one of the best in the game. Battered and bruised. Looking to lead his team back again in Ottawa. Mike Riley moving closer again to an all-time record. You can see all the numbers he's put up, but the big number right now is 300.
Great streak Mike Riley has going.
CFL record is 9 straight 300-plus games. Jeopardy tonight, he has 130. But this is when Mike Riley kind of takes over ball games. Second halves, usually his strongest. This time under duress, and a flag flies again and again. A loose ball. Whistled down. Jermaine Robinson in the end zone with it. But let's see what this call is. Is this another roughing the passer? It is against Ottawa. And they are absolutely pounding Mike Riley tonight.
Major foul, roughing the passer, Ottawa number 97. 15-yard penalty, 1st down.
But they continue to get flagged for it. Mike Moore.
This is where the REDBLACKS have got to rein it in. I can appreciate trying to get in a quarterback's kitchen, let him know that you're there, trying to get him off his rhythm.
Too late. Although he was in the act of coming at Riley, still hit him too late. Riley now making them pay. Downfield, long bomb. Incomplete pass, and stride for stride is Nate Kuhorn and Mitch White.
Yeah, Mitchell White, we've seen him flagged a couple of times in this ball game, but does a nice job in this one, staying right in the receiver's hip pocket, keeping his hands under control until the moment that ball arrives.
Riley, right after that roughing the passer, was almost like one of those, really? Okay, here, take this. Back and forth tonight. This is a slugfest, this game.
It's been physical, it's been a little nasty. It's just the way we like them.
It's football. Riley over the top and caught by Bowman. The mark will be, the spot will be a 1st down. And And they'll quickly huddle up and go right to the line of scrimmage.
Bowman does a nice job getting up to first down yardage. Again, shielding the defenders from the ball to secure that catch.
Sean White. Once more, a penalty flag, and it's way back on the other side of the field. And also behind. This is usually a too many men on the field penalty when it's signaled from that far back. Let's see if it is.
Too many men. Ottawa. 10-yard penalty.
Flag flies.
First down.
About 25 yards back and center part between the hashes. That's too many men.
Yeah, you'll see the Red Blacks try to run a man off late on this play. Mike Moore, I believe, still on there as the ball is snapped.
Riley. Darrell Walker. You know, you look at this so many times, and the Eskimos still have not been able to turn these penalties into major scores. It's almost remarkable that Ottawa still has a lead after the deluge of penalties that they've taken here tonight.
Yeah, well, it seems like they're starting to add up here when you look at where this drive started. Now into Red Blacks territory.
Second down, 2 yards to go. And Sean White slips and slips again right into the arms of the Red Blacks. And Torrey Latanzio is there. And it's going to force the Eskimos to punt after all of that.
Well, the Red Blacks have done a good job in terms of their run defense, getting people in gaps and getting upfield. You're going to see penetration here that forces John White to slam on the brakes. That's caused by Zach Evans. And then as White's just trying to get going again, Latanzio comes in to clean up.
Number one run defense in the Canadian Football League, the Ottawa Red Blacks, showing it tonight. Averaging about 10 yards a game. And that ball out of bounds. So 10-6 ball game, and this guy, the Duke, Greg Ellingson, big night for him, started it off, led to a drive and a major score. But it's a defensive game tonight. We'll see if the offenses start clicking. Well, we saw Henry Burris explode at halftime verbally, and we'll see how he does in this second half. Let's go down to Matthew Shinetti now.
Yeah, absolutely, Rod. Kind of feels like I should have dropped the mic for him after that, but maybe there's a connection to what we discussed with him yesterday. There were boos inside TD Place at certain points when the offense was struggling, and we asked Burris yesterday if he heard any of them, and he said no, and then he did bite his tongue yesterday, but inside the locker room, he has unanimous support. Ernest Jackson said he is the undisputed starter. Rick Campbell went ahead and said, how could you doubt his experience and what he's done with the franchise? Boos or maybe frustration shows the expectations of the fans. But ultimately, Burris said, I accomplished a lot here yesterday, and I still have a lot more to do, clearly. Guys.
Well, very interesting turn of events. And, you know, obviously Henry's human. He's been around the league for a long time, and he did say that, you know, the boos, he didn't hear them. And we were here as well. And I think, you know, the crowd may have just reacted to the offense sputtering, period. Maybe just not directed solely. But guess what? Quarterback takes a lot of the credit sometimes and also takes a lot of the blame.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. It comes with the territory a little bit. Again, I think for Henry Burris, it's part frustration, but it's part self-motivation. He's always taken that from the Devils.
Oh, look out! Khalil Payton has the catch.
Well, Khalil Payton makes his first catch of 2016, a big one. Again, seeing his first action of the season, first time on the active roster. And he catches the bomb from Henry Burris.
His last catch since 1 year ago. Had one catch against the Alouettes for 16 yards, this one for 50.
Well, when they don't come that often, you better make the most of them.
Now Edmonton is challenging this reception by Khalil Payton. Northern Arizona product, native of California.
Edmonton is challenging the ruling of a completed pass.
Well, this was right in front of the Edmonton bench, and as he goes down, he rolls. And the ball kind of comes up to his right shoulder. So, I mean, this one may not even have been initiated from above. This may have been the view of Jason Moss and Mike Benavides and those coaches right on the sidelines.
Well, I don't think they had time to see it. And that yellow challenge flag came right out.
Here you'll see, watch right at the end of the play as Payton goes to the ground. I wonder if he may have trapped that ball as he rolled over to his right. This might be our best look right here.
Well, he has it there. And you know what?
Oh, good challenge.
Good challenge, and right in front of Jason Moss. This is likely going to be a successful challenge. Now, has the ball? No. Does he have the ball? Question would be, did he have the ball in control before he went down?
You have to survive that contact with the ground, though. And this is your best angle. And you'll see it looks like this ball gets pinned right there. Doesn't look like he has control of it.
Based on our evidence, Khalil Payton's first catch in a year is going to be taken away.
After review, we have an incomplete pass. It'll be third down, Ottawa at the 26-yard line.
Right in front of Jason Moss and the Edmonton bench.
I don't know how the fans here who saw it on the big screen could dispute it if you saw that angle. A couple of the angles inconclusive. One angle, to me, very clear.
Well, again, they would see this view right here.
And they've seen this view right there. That ball is out. At the very least, trapped against the turf.
So this Ottawa crowd disputing the video evidence. It's clear. Medeiros to the wind. Doe again, trips over his own player. Won't Claiborne downfield quickly on a 50-yard boot. Still a 4-point game. Mike Riley is his 300-yard passing streak in jeopardy. There's that music. The 2016 NFL preseason underway tomorrow. The Pack and the Colts, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. You know summer's flying along when you start to talk National Football League. Around the corner. Mike Riley and his Edmonton Eskimos with the ball again. Starting out now at their 31-yard line. Riley has time. Wings it out over to Darius Bowman. Stops and gains a couple more yards, maybe half the first down yardage, a little more. Again, Mike Riley trying to get closer to that all-time record for consecutive 300-yard games. And how about this dynamic duo? Here are 2 reasons why you get to throw for 300 yards.
Yeah, these guys have been piling them up. Both well over 100 yards a game so far.
Riley now has to step up. Avoids one and another, and Mike Riley dragged down eventually by his jersey. Big run. You talked about it earlier, and you might see Mike Riley step up and step out, and he did. A 13-yard scamper.
Yeah, it's become forgotten a little bit as the passing offense has become so efficient, but Mike Riley is a guy who can absolutely hurt you with his legs, and if you want to send pressure, this is the risk that you take, that he's going to start running for first downs. I said it in the first half. This could be a big part of this football game.
Riley, deep now. Looking for Walker's made the catch.
There's a flag down in the backfield.
There is a flag in the backfield. If this is a hold, this is coming back, and it's coming back. Oh. An unbelievable catch by Walker is taken away.
Holding. Edmonton number 57. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Would have been a 47-yard completion.
That one goes against David Beard, the second-year man who's now in at left guard. Chris Greaves having left the game just a little bit late coming off on that twist. Forced him into that holding situation.
Riley again, standing in now. Out of the pocket. Might have to throw it away. And almost threw it into the arms of Paul Hazel.
All kinds of pressure again. Connor Williams, the man in hot pursuit. Williams is going to come from the left side of your screen. Hazel, the other defensive end, drops into coverage, but mirrors Riley as he starts the scramble.
So now second and long, and again this sold-out crowd at TD Place Stadium brings up the volume once more. And a key second down, Darrell Walker. Top of your screen. Riley now looks near side, look out. And making the catch is Chris Getzlaff. And Mike Riley just got that away. Getzlaff, who was so proficient for so many years in Saskatchewan, on second down. That was a huge play by the Eskimos. 22-yard pickup.
Yeah, and Riley stands in there as long as he can. Connor Williams again had the pressure, and credit to Williams because he actually does a good job holding off on hitting Riley low here as he comes free at the end of the play.
Not this time though. Riley gets sacked. And Connor Williams in there along with Latanzio.
A couple of local boys make good. Latanzio and Williams, both Ottawa natives. Getting the job done. Latanzio lines up on the nose, Williams on the end. Latanzio in particular, he's a guy who creates mismatches for defensive linemen because he's a little bit undersized but lightning quick. Absolutely annihilated CIS competition, making plays just like that a couple of years ago.
The Ottawa GGs at the time. Former fifth-round pick of the Blue Bombers was cut by them. Here's a three-man rush now. Riley again. Now throws deep and way over the head of a Darius Bowman. But again, there's a flag on the play. And it seems like tonight almost every play is at risk of being penalized. And this goes to show you the physicality of this ball game tonight.
Yeah, there's no question about that. It's getting nasty
Illegal
down in the
contact
trenches.
on a receiver. Ottawa number 31. 10-yard penalty. Still second down.
So illegal contact on Boyette. So it's still second down, but more manageable now for the Eskimos and back into Ottawa territory. Second down, 5 yards to go from the 44-yard line. Still just a 4-point lead. Look at all the penalties now for the Red Blacks. Almost 150 yards tonight. Riley pumps it again and gets it away. Just gets it away, but looked like for a moment he would be sacked. And so that's a huge second down stop by the Red Blacks. The Eskimos, if this is a field goal, it would be about a 51-yarder for Sean White.
And it looks like the field goal unit coming out here.
Now again, we talked about the wind kind of blowing in this direction tonight. It's been swirling a little bit, but remember, White had a long kick early in the ball game, and it
had a little bit of trouble with it. I'm not sure if that was affected by the wind or just perhaps the hold. The way he struck the football didn't come off clean.
Well within his range, though. He's got a big foot, and again, best percentage in the Canadian Football League this season is coming from the 52-yard line. Chance to make this a one-point game. Low snap, kick is up, and it is good. Just made it. Sean White buries that. And it's a 1-point lead now for the Ottawa Red Blacks. Back and forth we go. The White Knight delivers. Jordan Lynch is the holder.
Yeah, and Sean White gets credit for a made field goal, keeping that percentage going, but a lot of credit here to Jordan Lynch. Snap is a little bit off the target and low, but Lynch does a terrific job picking it up, getting it pinned cleanly for White to nail that one through. You know, again, it's the kicker's statistics, but a pretty good three-man operation is the key to a high percentage from snapper to holder, and then finally the kicker.
You have a battery that works well together like those two do, and that helps things out considerably. There is Jordan Lynch, third-string quarterback, a guy who also is good on short yardage plays, can run that football.
Covers punts as well.
So Mike Riley still bandaged in the back. Intensity of a playoff game here tonight. And Grigsby, stutter step, scoots up for a first down near the 46.
Well, Nick Grigsby, another guy with a connection to the Edmonton Eskimos, having spent some time on their PR last year. Turns in a nice first down run there. Well blocked it right at the line of scrimmage.
Pulling it back and giving it off to Patrick Lavoie. Henry Burris completed pass out of the backfield for former star at Laval, the Rouge et Or. That runs as a fullback slash slot back slash tight end at times.
Yeah, fifth reception of the season there for Lavoie.
Second in short yardage, and again the best second down team in the CFL. The two best second down teams, Edmonton and Ottawa tonight. And Sinopoli will get the benefit of the spot and that extra effort. Another first down.
Yeah, he very nearly spun out of that one to turn it upfield. Dion Lacey was on him right away. See Brad Sinopoli. Number 3 receivers, they're going 4 to the field. Releasing the back, Grigsby as the 5th.
Chris Williams down by Kenny Ladler, product of Vanderbilt, one of the newcomers back there. And we talked with Mike Benavides last night and today about some of those new players, and you know, he always talks about the potential, and you know, he likes them, but you know, they're still not those players that they had there last year.
Yeah, it's a learning experience. There is no question. Eskimos went through it with some of the guys who have since moved on. They were once rookies. Everybody's a rookie at one point.
Yeah, the only way to get experience is getting experience. Chris Williams. Patrick Watkins says, no, this is a great matchup tonight. The long and the short of it, Watkins against Williams.
And Henry Burris zips this one in. Chris Williams stays with that one on the bobble.
No huddle again for Henry to Ellingson. Greg Ellingson is sandwiched near the 35-yard line. They're going to spot it at the 36. It's going to be 2nd and 5.
Ellingson, and looking for a lane to run on that hitch screen, may have bounced a little bit too far inside. Like he might have had a better shot after making the first man miss to try and take it back towards the sideline.
And Henry goes to work here with no huddle, shouts out the play. Jackson in motion, so too Williams. There's Jackson, turns the corner. Langler. Shoestring tackle, out of bounds, another first down. Henry Burris operating with some rhythm now.
Yeah, and you'll see how quickly the read comes for Henry Burris here. It's clear Ernest Jackson is open right off the line. Ellingson, great job going through the outside shoulder of his defender to ensure that he can't pursue outside on Jackson to the flat.
Only touchdown in the ball game came courtesy of Ernest Jackson in the first half. REDBLACKS were lucky they didn't go offside there. Henry changes the play, gives it to Grigsby, has some help blocking. And so now a throwing down again for the REDBLACKS. Henry saw something, changed that play, and decided to hand it off.
The REDBLACKS have been productive on second down throughout this ball game. Averaged about 11 yards on second downs in the first half. A critical one here given the field position.
Up-tempo offense again. Barely huddle at all, just like last year. Burris fires! Great defensive play. Patrick Watkins again in that matchup with Chris Williams. And
well, once again, Rod, it's the reach, the range of Patrick Watkins, the size that he has out here. I mean, you watch, Chris Williams has a step on him, got him turned inside out at the start of that route. But that 6'5" frame makes up a lot of ground.
A lot of fun to watch these two all-stars. So Milo out again near the 25-yard line. 1 for 1 tonight. Make it a 4-point game again, and he does. Proud new papa this week, Chris Milo. The final play of the third quarter. So much for that air show, although the ball has been in the air a lot. Nobody can penetrate that goal line, it seems, tonight.
Yeah, defense is holding tough so far.
Night for the kickers and for the defenses. They are standing up here tonight. Fourth quarter straight ahead, and as usual, the Eskimos and the Red Blacks close. Yeah, so much for all the points we thought these teams would throw up tonight. Just 13-9 now for the Red Blacks, and right now for Mike Riley, 176 yards passing. Obviously that 300-yard mark in jeopardy tonight. He's got a streak of 8 consecutive, but that's not even on his mind right now. He wants to get a W. These two teams came into tonight both having lost 2 games.
Yeah, no question. You look at the third quarter, one of the things that stands out to me in terms of the shift in statistics, time of possession. The Eskimos very good through that third quarter, some of it aided by Ottawa penalties, but you could see the Ottawa defense start to get worn down a little bit with that trend.
Red Blacks have lost their last 2 games because of kickers, and it could come back down to the kickers tonight, Sean White and Chris Milo. But it's Riley again to start the fourth quarter. The Red Blacks will have the wind, but it has subsided since the beginning of this game. It's still blowing, though. Here comes a rush, and there goes the ball. And a nice catch over the middle by Nate Kuhorn, and that was drifted perfectly in by Mike Riley.
Riley picking up where he left off to end that third quarter. Eskimos moving that football, starting to find some rhythm.
First and 10, Edmonton from their 51-yard line. And we've had a lot of motion at the beginning. This play will not get off.
Procedure, Edmonton number 66. 5-yard penalty, first down.
The Giant again, Matt O'Donnell. Movement on the line. Well, statistically, there is not much difference between these two teams tonight. The only difference, that touchdown by Ernest Jackson.
That's not a surprise given the recent history between these two.
Very lopsided in penalties, though, and both teams have them, but Ottawa's had a ton here tonight. Bowman again. Quick hitter. Quickly into Ottawa territory, just at the 54-yard line now.
Oh, good recognition and execution against the blitz here. Pressure comes. Bowman gets that inside leverage on his defender, allowing his quarterback Riley to get the ball out quickly.
2 angry, hungry teams coming into tonight after losing consecutive games, both of them. 2nd and 5. Here comes the blitz. There goes the bomb. And that is an interference call for sure on Corey Watson.
Well,
deep number 19, spot of the foul. First down.
And it looks like it was Getzlaff. Chris Getzlaff downfield quickly.
Yeah, and you'll see he gets in behind Damone Claiborne. And as the ball is in the air, Claiborne knows it's coming. Watch right there. Little push to the back of the receiver.
Didn't have to push him. I don't think that ball was going to be caught. Quickly, another costly penalty here, and the Eskimos looking to make the Red Blacks pay. Dumping it out to Sean White. Edmonton in the red zone. You saw that number, 2nd overall in the CFL.
Now adding to the headaches for Ottawa, as we've seen a number of those penalties coming on the back end. Mitchell White, one of their more experienced DBs, the guy who's starting on that short side corner, now slow to get up. Trainer's coming out for him. He's got to sit for 3 unless they're going to take a timeout.
And Mike Riley may just go at whoever's coming into the ball game here.
Yeah, Jonathan Rose is the DB who will come in. It's just a matter of whether he or Nick Taylor will play on that short side of the field. We'll see if they try to set up Walker or Bowman on the short side.
Darrell Walker and Mitchell White, and Walker just kind of throws him down and got tangled up, landed awkwardly on that far sideline. Big part of this ball game coming up here.
A complicated week for that guy, Mark Nelson, juggling bodies around in his secondary. The Rose is going to stay on the boundary side.
Riley, his team #1 on 2nd down conversions, #2 in the red zone. Trying to find the house here, but at the very least a 1st down right now. And again, flags and procedure once more. Mike Riley goes, "Are you kidding me?"
A tough one in the situation where they were already
Procedure.
in 2nd and long.
Edmonton number 65. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Center, Simeon Rotier.
There's your center, Rotier.
Just flinched.
Yeah, started rocking back a little bit.
REDBLACKS have accumulated 100 more yards and penalties tonight. Bad snap. Riley throws it end zone, and
Riley got buried.
And no flag on the play. So again, it's Sean White coming out, and another drive stalls here. The defense is on both sides, as the offenses get near that red zone, have absolutely shut the door here tonight.
Well, and one of the guys leading that defense for Ottawa, Zach Evans, a guy who's really emerging as a monster amongst CFL defensive linemen.
Sean White, 2 of 3. A hold once more, and once again, it's a 1-point ball game. This was like the last game here, the Kicker Classic between the Argos and the REDBLACKS. Now it's the Eskimos and REDBLACKS, and the Kickers doing all the work here tonight, but so too the defenses. Life is tough for the quarterbacks. 13-12 Ottawa now. The CFL on TSN is brought to you by GMC. We are professional grade. Great Saturday night for football. Not so great if you're a quarterback on both sides tonight. Mike Riley, he has taken a pummeling almost every time he's in the pocket. Someone's gotten to him. 4 roughing the passer penalties against the REDBLACKS tonight, but Jason Moss and the Eskimos still unable to turn those penalties into a major score.
Yeah, it's just that finish. Been able to move the ball down the field, but unable to break that Ottawa D.
Loads of time left, 12 minutes to go, 4th quarter. Last time these teams played in overtime. Burris up to Payton. Now he has his first catch in a year. And a 1st down.
Well, sometimes when you're the wide side wideout in this Ottawa offense, you feel a little bit like the 5th Beatle or something. You're the forgotten guy. Not a lot of balls coming out that way, but get it out to Payton. Try and keep that defense honest as well here.
Keep it on the ground, and that was awkward for Grigsby in the backfield. Looked like he almost jammed his foot into the turf.
A little stumble just as he took that handoff. Basically killed the play before it got started. See right here as he takes the ball. Looks like he tried to stutter step to redirect and he tripped up himself.
Lost 2 on the play, 2nd and 12. Here comes the rush. Burris hangs in, gives it to Williams. Chris Williams now off to the races and brought down by Koshi Muamba.
And that'll be a horse collar that'll tack another 15 on here. But taking advantage of the speed of Chris Williams with a crossing route and a costly missed tackle just after he catches the football.
Well, Chris Williams almost sprung here.
Horse collar tackle. Edmonton number 8. 15 yards from the end of the play. First down.
Muamba eventually able to bring him down, but by the scruff of the shoulder pads in the neck here, that's a horse collar. That's 15 yards and or half the distance to the goal line. So Red Blacks set up in good position now.
Big Elmondo Sewell demonstrating his run stuffing skills there.
Again, just 1 touchdown tonight from Ernest Jackson. Another big 2nd down here. Henry stands in and delivers. And down goes Grigsby, brought down by Ladler, and on the 2 previous occasions, now make it 3 into the Edmonton red zone. The Red Blacks again will have to take their shot at a field goal, and it's going to be a chip shot here for Chris Milo. Twice they've been in the red zone, once a touchdown to Jackson, the other time a field goal.
And this is a big defensive play in space by the rookie Ladler to hold on and secure that tackle.
Chris Milo again. Oh, they're saying no. Milo, that could be costly now. That makes it a 2-point lead. Thought he had it, did not. 14-12 game. Welcome back to Smash Mouth Saturday night.
Well, regardless of the eventual outcome of this football game, I hope the Edmonton locker room is well stocked with ice packs, because it's been that kind of night for Mike Riley. Not necessarily a lot of sacks given up, but a lot of hits on the quarterback.
One of the most resilient, durable guys around, but he has taken so many shots here. And that forehead is showing some of the signs. Still 21 for 31, 205 yards, 95 away from making it another 300-yard game. And this helps out as Getzlaff brings it out to the 45-yard line.
Well, Getzlaff not getting as many looks in this Edmonton offense as he did as a member of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, but a guy who's still a valuable receiver lining up in the slot to the wide side. Guy who can provide some balance opposite the duo of Bowman and Walker.
And Mike Riley could tie the all-time CFL record for consecutive games with 300. Far side. Not this time for Getzlaff. Record held by Sam Echeverry, who had that. The Montreal Alouettes, of course, back in the 50s, and Kent Austin, 1991. Riley could be with some select company. He can get to 300 tonight. Next week, home to Montreal 5 days from now. Bang, another one. Darrell Walker. Short of a first down. 2nd and 10. He's going to be, oh, good 2 yards short. Almost 3.
Good protection that time. Riley out on the money, but that little reset by Walker may have cost him a little bit of yardage.
So Jamil Smith is going to go back again for the Red Blacks. Jason Maas selects 3rd and 2 to boot it away. Game of field position now. Again, loads of time left.
It'll be interesting in a one-point game to see with a big Grant Shaw kick here to see what decision Jamil Smith makes as to whether to let it go or not.
Grant Shaw bounces to Smith. Now, again, 1 point. We should tell you that Chris Milo's previous field goal attempt hit the upright. Raised that upright, so it gets no points for that. That's why it was not 14-12, but still 13-12 in Ottawa tonight. Chris Milo tried to restore a 4-point lead earlier. Again, here is another look. Milo initially thought that this was through. Now watch again. It cannot hit that upright, and it did. Hits the upright and goes in. It's good. Goes out. It's not. And no points. See how that plays out. Could be huge in this game.
All the way this game has gone.
Midway through the 4th quarter. Once again, Nick Grigsby. And heads to that bench. Looks like he might have got a little nicked up here.
Well, we've seen Grigsby through the early portion of this season kind of struggling off and on with what appears to be a shoulder issue that every so often just kind of needs a play to get that back in order.
Another 2nd down conversion for Burris and the Red Blacks. Teams trying to avoid 3-game losing streaks. Dropped it right into Sinopoli.
Just enough for the 1st down there.
Very conservative play call, but it worked perfectly.
A nice battle after the catch there by Sinopoli to keep his legs moving, despite the fact that he was wrapped up. Sinopoli will come right to left on your screen.
First and 10, Ottawa from the 34. Oh, it's an end around here for Smith. Foot race now, and he's going to be tracked down beautifully. Again by Kenny Ladler.
Yeah, another great job, and once again in space by Kenny Ladler. Stayed home on the play, didn't allow himself to get outflanked.
Little trickery that the Eskimos did not fall for one bit.
Oh, with so many keying on Chris Williams. It's a nice change-up play, nice concept, but well defended.
Like offside. Burris. And Williams stays in bounds, and Chris Williams. There are 3 flags. Flags everywhere here. One in the backfield, one on the far side, one on the near side. Penalty-riddled night.
Well, Jabari Hunt lined up at defensive end on that play. Clearly moved before the snap, but he's also lobbying for a hold against Ottawa.
Tim Croker and his staff busy tonight.
Offside. Edmonton number 76. Holding. Ottawa number 63. We'll go back 5 yards. 2nd down.
So 2nd down after that, the holding penalty and the offside.
Well, there you'll see Jabari Hunt. It's an early jump on that one. Right at the end. Just looked like John Gott lost position a little bit on Armando Sewell. His hands were outside of the frame of his body, which led to the holding call.
Burris now, here's the rush. And looks for Williams, that ball, no whistle. J.C. Sherritt has it. Sherritt now to the 20. He's down the sideline, he's gonna score, it looks like. They're saying he's out at the 1 yard line. This ball, did it bounce off some bodies and went up into the midst of J.C. Sherritt? What looked like an incomplete pass at first. This could be an absolute game changer. There was no whistle. Credit J.C. Sherritt for continuing with the play. Now it's a turnover. It's going to be reviewed anyway.
Is a touchdown. Player dove into goal with possession of the ball.
So it's a touchdown. It will be reviewed. So too the turnover. Now the question is, was that clean?
Play is under review by the command center.
We'll have a look. You'll see Chris Williams, as he sees the hit coming, kind of pulls up on this ball going into traffic.
It went off his foot.
Yeah, it's coming in low, off his foot, pops straight up.
It's clean.
Yeah, J.C. Sherritt with the catch, and then freshman year at Eastern Washington when he was a running back.
Yeah, that's a touchdown. What an unbelievable dive and lunge for J.C. Sherritt. Right off the foot of Chris Williams. That is an Eskimo bounce. And now take a look at J.C. Sherritt laying out.
A great effort at the end of that play.
So you might think that in a game like this,
Shout out Eastern Washington.
Eastern Washington shutout. There's shout out. But the offense can't score in the end zone for the Eskimos. It's the defense that does it tonight.
A team effort. You know, we talked with Darius Bowman yesterday and asked him, while the defense goes through some growing pains, do you feel a little more pressure offensively to pick up the slack? And he talked about it being a team game, win and lose as a team. We got to score more than they give up, period.
You guys saw I made it up.
He said, frankly, lots of times that the defense has bailed us out over the last couple of years too. And, you know, with this play is an indication of that. Offense having trouble getting going. Sherritt and the D come up big.
Couple of great blocks down the sideline too, and they're looking at that. He clearly went over the pylon, but they'll also look at that interception. This would be J.C. Sherritt's first career touchdown. And the final verdict is?
The ruling on the field is confirmed by replay. We have a touchdown.
So the Edmonton Eskimos and their beleaguered defense come up with a huge play tonight, including their anchor, J.C. Sherritt. Football. That's what resulted in that touchdown. And the Edmonton Eskimos have their first lead of the ball game.
Mike Benavides, defensive coordinator of these Edmonton Eskimos. Glad to see his group come up big.
Well, Mike Riley with a 2-point convert attempt here, trying to make it a 7-point game. Looking for Calvin McCarty and then for Getzlav, and he does. The Eskimos' first converted 2-pointer this season. They were 0 for 1, but that's a big one. It makes it a 20-13 lead now. Mike Riley just keeps hanging in, and J.C. Sherritt.
And you'll see the flat and the out in front of Mike Riley. Those are his reads. Getzlav open, fires it in.
Chris Williams off his foot of all things, and J.C. Sherritt right there. Not only with the interception. This is Olympic diving right here.
A couple of jukes to get to that sideline and then going airborne. And again, this is a guy who spent his first year at Eastern Washington running scout team offense as a running back. He clearly found his calling. The next year moved over to the defensive side of the ball and has excelled as a linebacker ever since.
Just outstanding defensive player back in 2012, J.C. Sherritt. I don't think he's had as many bizarre plays like that one. Mike Riley taking his lumps here tonight, but looking for the win. Smith dropped at the 31-yard line. 20-13 Edmonton.
Those tough on the field deserve a truck that's tough on the road. The 2016 GMC Sierra.
All right, Henry Burris. 2 losses in a row. Not one of his patented Burris-like performances last week as he came back shaking off some rust from the injury. Now in a deficit for the first time tonight. 5 receivers set for Burris. Out of the pocket. Again, he finds Payton. Khalil Payton down the sideline. Big play. One thing for Khalil Payton, who has not played in a year. He doesn't want to get out of this lineup.
Making the most of the opportunity. He had a 50-yarder called back earlier in this ball game after he was unable to sustain possession of the ball through contact with the ground, but comes up with a big one here on the catch and run down that sideline.
From the 40-yard line now, 4 receivers left. They'll keep it on the ground. And Keenan LaFrance. Rigsby on the sideline. LaFrance gets his first touch of the ball game.
It's been a lot of fun watching Keenan LaFrance as he's had plenty of opportunities to play this year in his second season. Watching his development, you just see the confidence grow week after week. I mean, he's getting regular touches every week in this Ottawa offense.
8-yard gain. Rigsby on the sideline. 2nd and 2. Getting close to the 3-minute warning here. LaFrance. First down marker was at the 30-yard line, just inside it. And with the spot, it looks like it is going to be a first down for the REDBLACKS. See if it requires a measurement. They're likely going to measure this. Spot is right on the 30. And that's where the first down marker was.
This measurement will give Ottawa a little bit of a free timeout to figure out exactly how they want to handle their next couple of offensive plays.
First down. This game certainly didn't live up to the billing early on about the offensive showcase, but I'll tell you what, it's lived up to its intensity, and the rivalry that's developed between these two teams, going back to last year's Grey Cup game, going back to week 1 when they went to overtime. Who knows, we might have that here tonight again.
Henry Burris over 300 yards in this ball game.
3 receivers this time. Burris again. Down goes end zone. And unable to hang on, Ellingson.
And the kind of catch we've become accustomed to seeing Greg Ellingson make. Well thrown ball by Henry Burris. Ellingson, the one receiver to the field here. He and Ernest Jackson working in tandem.
Solomon Means lost his step to Ellingson and usually makes that highlight reel grab. Key second down now. And what a catch! With a penalty flag down on the play. Ernest Jackson hauls it in. That flag in the backfield as Henry Burris threw that football. Looks like it's roughing the passer perhaps against the Edmonton Eskimos. And this will move the ball closer. Should be the 3-minute warning here.
Foul, roughing the passer. Edmonton number 97. Half a distance to goal. First down.
Eddie Steele roughing the passer. Will step aside. The 3-minute warning. The Ottawa REDBLACKS down inside the 10-yard line. A chance to tie the ball game here tonight. Two teams used to last possession football. Grey Cup game in Winnipeg, first week of the season, overtime. Henry Burris and the Red Blacks 1st and 10 from the 7-yard line after the catch by Ernest Jackson, then the roughing the passer call. Difference right now, J.C. Sherritt's interception, touchdown, the pick 6. Again, 3 receivers set, double tight ends. Burris now lobbing it up and unable to hang on again is Ellingson.
Well, Cord Parks was there with the coverage. Looked like he got a hand on that football. Again, Ellingson is the one receiver working again in tandem with Jackson. Nice job by Parks getting the head around as he saw the receiver start to settle and focus on the ball.
Burris now throws, goal line, touchdown, Chris Williams. Convert away from a tie ball game. And Williams' first touchdown since week 3. Has 6 on the season until tonight. Now that's number 7.
And this one took a little bit of time to develop. Henry Burris had to shuffle and buy time, but you can see everybody bit inside on those other 2 routes. Took a little bit of time to get out to Williams. There's just enough of a delay to allow Burris to fire the strike.
Milo converts. We're tied. 7 plays, 78-yard drive, 2 minutes 44 seconds. Chris Williams, and another drive that was aided also by penalty. That has been an ongoing theme here tonight.
Yeah, no question. 15-yard roughing the passer call. Part of that big play to the sometimes forgotten man, Khalil Payton, down the sidelines to start things off.
So 2:28 to go. 20-20 game. 2 teams on 2-game losing skids coming in. Something's got to give here tonight. Red Blacks have had a couple of overtime games this season. Also had a tie, and that win, of course, over Edmonton in week 1. Mike Riley, 235 yards on the night. Zach Medeiros is going to kick this off. Once again, it's Doe. Trying to find some running room. He ran right into the Red Blacks, but the 31-yard line. Shades of week 1.
Yeah, let's take a look back. The game where Henry Burris was injured in the 3rd. Trevor Harris came on. Chris Milo delivered the decisive kick to send it to overtime.
And a 55-yard field goal to tie it. $24,560. Full throat. And it's picked by Jermaine Robinson. Robinson cuts back. Has room. Jermaine Robinson to the 30. Down to the 24-yard line. And a throw that Mike Riley would love to have back. That was an easy pick for Jermaine Robinson.
You remember Jermaine Robinson was a guy who missed an opportunity to make a big pick in the overtime game against Calgary that would have closed it out and given them a win. But here, playing center field, does a great job ranging over to help out his halfback, Claiborne, who had been beaten to the inside. And come up with that one. As the safety, he's favoring that short side, that boundary side, with Bowman and Walker, but came off to help out and make a huge play.
Again, LaFrance, the carry, so conservative here. Henry Burris not wanting to give it back. Robinson, huge pick here.
Don't lose that motherfucker. Let's get it.
Guy who broke his wrist last year. Back in the lineup, Mike Riley. 2 Edmonton turnovers tonight. So now they spread it out. Burris, 2nd down and 7. Minute 40 to go. Henry now. Again, a crossing pattern and a big tackle by J.C. Sherritt. And that is going to force the Red Blacks to a field goal attempt and take a lead of 3. And Edmonton will get the ball back.
In a perfect world, if you're Ottawa, you would have loved to, I mean, obviously keep the drive going, but aside from that, run a little bit more time off the clock before getting into this kicking situation.
Eskimos with a timeout. Chris Milo, 2 of 3 again, hitting that upright earlier.
Kick
no
here.
Points.
Kick here will come from about 24.
Well, Milo was the hero when he tied it in Edmonton to go to overtime. Chance here to give his team the lead once again. He does. So it's 23-20. 90 seconds to go.
Well, the Ottawa D just came up with a big play, but their job's nowhere near done yet. Minute and a half to go in this ballgame.
And by the way, that's Mike Riley coming back on the field. Here's another look. Keep in mind, the last 2 games for the Ottawa REDBLACKS have been decided by field goals in the last minute against them. Tyler Crapigna, Saskatchewan beat Ottawa, a minute to go. And of course, they lost to the Argos last week as well. Lirim Hajrullahu in the final minute. That's why they're on that 2-game losing streak. Minute 31 away from ending that. Sean White, the veteran kicker, had a lot of those in his career. Now it's up to Mike Riley to put it in position for White. Medeiros. High kick for Doe. Trying to follow some blocks. Now outside. And pretty good return up near the 40-yard line. So really only a couple of completed passes here for Mike Riley. That's a good starting point for the Eskimos.
Yeah, terrific return. Nice effort, not just by Doe, but by the rest of that return team. Getting it blocked up and getting it north-south in a hurry. This is the Ottawa bench calling for a little noise from their fans, trying to make life difficult for Riley and the S offense.
It is deafening in here. Riley gets it off, and no, incomplete.
Riley takes another huge hit. Zach Evans has been in that backfield so much they might start charging him rent.
Yes, slow to get up again. Let's take another look. Zach Evans forces it again. 2nd down, a minute 21 to go. Here comes the rush again. Riley hangs in over the top and a big catch. Clutch catch by Darius Bowman. Absolutely silences this crowd up near the 50.
Well, no surprise where Mike Riley would be looking at this stage of the ball game. Darius Bowman doesn't let him down.
So again, Riley's only a couple tosses away from Sean White. His career long is 53, which was last season. Tonight, he hit from 52, but it's against the wind. So they'll need some more help here. Oh, Darrell Walker. One he normally always hangs on to.
Yeah, that one got in on him a little quicker, I think, than he expected.
Minute to go.
Quick slant.
Former offensive coordinator here, back in his second home, Jason Moss. He knows how loud this place can be. Another critical second down. Riley with time, fires and up high, and the ball is incomplete. Coverage by Mitch White. Mitchell White knocks it down, so it's third down. Mike Riley looks to the bench. This would be a 57-yard field goal, and it's against the wind. They've got to get a first down here. They're still looking to the sideline. Now they're going to come back. And this could be the ball game right here. The Eskimos have to get a first down. Third and 10. Riley goes deep downfield. And it's incomplete, and that's going to do it. No flag on the play. And he was looking for that deep threat, Chris Getzlaff, and overthrows him. And the Ottawa REDBLACKS are going to hang on here, barring something unforeseen. Mike Riley going for a deep shot here, and they needed 10.
And they had a number of guys pushing deep in this situation, both Bowman on the short side, Getzlaff on the wide side, going deep. It almost seemed like that was the only option on their minds rather than just looking to get that first down yardage.
Well, a sigh of relief here in the nation's capital. France has to protect that football. They try to strip it out of them. Couple more yards and then they can put the knee down.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the things I like about this play by LaFrance is just the awareness. They got to keep the clock moving. He wants to stay in bounds. He had a chance to run for the sidelines right away, but recognized that right away that wasn't the path he wanted to take and just turned it north-south into contact. And took what he could get.
Henry will work the play clock down and the game clock, and LaFrance, that's going to do it. That's going to seal this one. Puts the ball down. The REDBLACKS can put their knee down, line up in victory formation. Playoff-like atmosphere here tonight. What a game, right down to the wire.
Sure has been. These teams, hasn't been the shootout we expected, but this game hasn't disappointed in any way, shape, or form.
Henry Burris puts his REDBLACKS back in the win column. Take that. The Eskimos have lost 3 in a row. They head back home. Bye week in Ottawa. Jason Moss comes back. Guy I used to work with, Rick Campbell. They go back a long way. Another thriller here tonight. Chris Milo hits the game winner. Penalty-filled night. All played in. And the Nissan Titan player of the game is
quarterback Henry Burris. He talked the talk. Second half was time to walk the walk. Burris delivered. He finished up 26 of 39, 341 yards, 2 touchdown passes versus 1 interception. Coming back from some adversity, Henry Burris is the Nissan Titan player of the game.
Well, he shoves his REDBLACKS into the win column again. Mike Riley did not get to 300 yards tonight. That streak is now over. Sam Echeverry and Kent Austin, 9 straight. Ernest Jackson That catch on second down was enormous. Chris Milo has the game winner. November game in August tonight. Good night, everybody. 23-20, Red Blacks.